This is the BGG climbers for the week ending 1/27/2021. This list is put together every week by Michael Alexander. I'll include a link in the description to the Geek List and also to the subscription Geek List where you can subscribe to see when new lists are released. So let's get to it. Again, if you like this video, please like and please subscribe, and please take a look at our other videos. So we're going to look at the top dropping ones and the ones below the top 10 real quick here. Blood Rage came down a little bit. It's probably peaked. I mean, it's kind of waffling around there. And one interesting one is Twilight Struggle finally dropped to number 10, which I'm pretty sure you know what's coming up later. As far as the ones outside the top 10 that are interesting, Pandemic Legacy Season 0 continues its climb up the list with actually a really high new rating. So this average is really high. This is doing well, although it's still only 1,200 ratings. It's going to take a while for this to climb up to the top 100. It's advancing like 40 to 80 spots per week right now. Under Falling Skies. So this one continues to climb with a really strong rating. I think it has a shot of hitting the top 100 as a solo game, which will be very interesting if it does. Excavation Earth. So we haven't seen this one on the list. This is actually, I think it was a pretty big Kickstarter. It's not doing so well yet, but again, it's only a few copies, so let's see how it does in the future. And Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion. So this one hit number 9. It continues its climb up, and it has a shot at hitting number 1, it looks like. We'll have to see if it will or not, but it's definitely in the range where by the time it gets into the top 5, it could have a high enough rating to hit number 1. Okay. And oh yeah, actually, Eclipse Second Dawn is continuing its climb. It's going to hit the top 100, probably in a couple months at the rate. So let's get into number 10, Renature. So we've looked at this one for a couple weeks. It's staying decently strong. I don't see this one hitting the top 100 though. It's just too weak of a start. Probably top 500-ish range. This is a tile laying game with some really good looking tiles, but it looks like the gameplay maybe not strong enough to reach the top 100. So that's Renature. Number 9 is The King is Dead 2nd Edition. So this one got some press recently with, no pun included, one of their 2 Game of the Years. You can look and see what their other one is if you're interested. Published by Osprey Games. This is kind of a unique area control game. Played over, I mean, I guess it's a pretty short game, right? You're looking at 30 to 45 minutes, best with 3 players, so low player counts. I think, I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of just straight area control games. I guess the speed with this one plays is pretty interesting to me. I do think the map looks pretty good. I don't know, is that a cloth map or just a board? I think it's a board. And I don't think it's a very complex rule set, which is actually good. So, I mean, this one hasn't ever reached the top 100 before. Maybe with NPI's recommendation, maybe it's going to see it. We'll have to wait a few weeks and see if that dies out. So as The King is Dead 2nd Edition. Number 8 is Dice Throne Season 1 Rerolled. So this is essentially a re-release of Season 1 Dice Throne with all the same characters. I redone art, some the new cases to put them in, and I think it looks good. I mean, there's plus and minuses going for it on going up the list. One is that people that like Dice Throne Season 2 may buy Season 1 again. And if you already like Season 2, you're probably going to like Season 1. The rating may be higher. So it does have that going for it. On the other hand, there's already a lot of people that own Season 1. Maybe it's not going to get as many ratings. And we'll have to see as the copies come in. So that is Dice Throne Season 1 Rerolled. Number 8. Number 7 is Darwin's Journey. So this is a Kickstarter, which maybe is over now. I don't remember. I guess it still has the back this project on it. It's a worker placement game where you're following Charles Darwin's adventures through the Galapagos Islands, and it's interesting. I think it looks like a fairly, actually, let's see what the weight is. It looks like a fairly complex worker placement game. Yeah, 3.75. I think it looks good. These early ratings are, probably just the normal Kickstarter ratings plus maybe some people playing it on a digital platform if it's available. But it does have very kind of thematic art with the pages and stuff. It does look like there's a lot going on here. Probably the complexity of it. I don't think the components look amazing outside of the artwork, but we'll see. I mean, maybe in the Kickstarter it'll be upgraded some more. So that is Darwin's Journey. And that is number 7. Currently on Kickstarter, I believe. So number 6 is Lost Ruins Arnak. So, for the last few weeks, we've actually seen a lot of the same games here. These are probably the big releases at the end of the year. Now, this one is certainly going to hit the top 100. It's already at 405 with an 8.26 rating, and that's been pretty steady. So there's a good shot that, this one probably will hit the top 100 in the next 3 months at the latest. And it might be in the top 50 at some point. We'll have to see if it holds up. It is a solid game. It's probably it's the first release really into this 3 different deck building worker placement games. And let's see. I do think it's one of the best looking. Now, I haven't played Dune Imperium, but that seems to be getting the best ratings. And then there'll be Endless Winter that comes out sometime later. I think these pieces look really, really awesome. I think the artwork looks amazing. I think that it's just a really well put together package as far as the look. The gameplay, I think, is good, and clearly it's getting good ratings. I just don't think it is super innovative, I would say. So that is number 6, Lost Ruins of Arnak, and that one is definitely going to see the top 100. Number 5 is Bloodborne, the board game. So this one was a huge CMON Kickstarter, and I believe it's designed by Eric Lang. Yeah, one of the designers is Eric Lang. This one's interesting because this was a huge campaign, miniatures game, typical CMON stuff. And they did do an amazing job on these miniatures. They look really good. If I had more time. And it's a huge collection, just like any CMON. There's going to be a ton of expansions that all come in the Kickstarter, a ton of Kickstarter exclusives, which is, plus or minus. Like, you go in on a CMON game and, hopefully you like it, or if you don't go in on it on a Kickstarter, hopefully you're not stuck without all the expansions, like with what happened with Blood Rage, I think is the most famous example. Man, the paint job on these are really good. So I think the game looks good. I don't know how it the stack for the all-in is just crazy. Like, this is like a board game collection in itself. I don't know how the game plays. This was kind of one of those ones that I thought about getting, and then I just decided, I have enough adventure games. Like, I have Madara coming. I have Journeys in Middle Earth still haven't played. Those are probably the 2 biggest ones, the adventure series that I really want to get to the table. And I just didn't see the need to go with another game that I haven't liked the video, or I haven't played the video game, so I didn't really get drawn in by that. But it does look good, and it seems to be getting good ratings. Now let's just take a quick look and see. Some comments are flimsy, missing content from the DLC. Interesting. Wow. So a lot of people like it. It's a CMON game. A lot of people, it sounds like that, like the video game like this, but we'll see in time. So that is kind of interesting that Bloodborne is already on here, number 5. Number 4 is Dune Imperium. So this is the other deck building worker placement game, and this one is going to hit the top 100 before Lost Runes of Arnak, or yeah, Runes of Arnak. This one's already at rank 400. It's got an 8.5. So this is, and it's been really steady at that. So I'm going to say this is probably top 50. Yeah, this is probably going to hit the top 50. We'll see when it gets a few more ratings, but almost certainly. And this is probably going to hit the top 100 by mid-March at the very latest. So it looks like a really strong game. It is one I want to play just because of how highly rated it is. And I'm interested to see how the interaction works because it's supposed to be a more interactive worker placement deck building game. So that is number 4, Dune Imperium. Number 3 is Kanban EV. So we've again talked about this one for a few weeks. This is probably on its way to the top 100. It's a Vito Lacerda game. It's a reprint of another top 100 game. And it looks really good. You know, if I thought I was going to be playing Kanban more, I would have probably picked up this edition of it. I just don't see myself playing Kanban a huge amount. I think if I was going to take out a Lacerda game, I would pick Lisboa, the Gallerist, or On Mars. So that is Kanban EV. Number 2 is Carnegie. So we actually put up a playthrough of this where we played it on Board Game Arena. I recommend, if you're thinking about this game, try it out on Board Game Arena. It's really awesome that the developers did that. So Carnegie is an action selection, I guess, area control game in some ways, and route building is its main. Let's see if they I wouldn't call it area movement, connections, in-game bonuses, and kind of an area control, like first person to the area gets it. You also have, so in this game, you also have, so you're building on the board of the United States like Carnegie did. You have these really cool kind of tech tracks. And I guess they're projects, but they're kind of like tech tracks. And as you expand them, you're also going to expand your income. So you have an engine building aspect here. You have these things are your projects that you put on the board to gain your area control. And then you have this, which I think is probably the best aspect of the game, and I wish maybe it was explored more. I guess your business area, I guess, with your workers. And here, it's got some unique things going on. So I think the other ones are kind of well implemented pieces of other games. This one, I don't know if I've seen so much. I guess it's a feel of Yokohama, but a little bit different, where you have to move your people from, the entry point into these businesses that you can buy throughout the game and add to your board. And then a lot of time, and then you have to activate them. But then a lot of times you want to be taking them off here, which essentially deactivates them, but then lets you get income later in the game. And that comes through on this track where you're essentially guaranteed that all this income will happen. And you're trying to think about what your opponents are going to do in the future. So you know where to send your guys out on missions so you can collect your income later. It's a very interesting game. I don't think I'm going to back it, but I do. One of my friends is. And I think that it's probably going to be talked about when it comes out a lot. I don't know if anyone's done reviews on this yet, but I think there's some unique mechanisms going on here. My only concern with the game is I'm not sure that it's super well balanced today, but again, it's Kickstarter. I don't know how far along it is in development. Then maybe there's some rebalancing things they're going to do. I get a feeling, and we have played some more times, I get a feeling that there might be some strategies here that you could get ahead really early and just trounce all the other players with some good early selections. with these companies. I think some of the companies just are very situational, and some of them are just really, really good. But again, that could change before it comes out. So that is Carnegie, a very interesting action selection game. And that's number 2. Number 1 is Canvas. So we haven't seen this one either. This was a pretty big Kickstarter. It looks like people are getting their Kickstarters. I don't even remember how big it was. It was a big, big Kickstarter. Kind of reminded me of Dixit in terms of the artwork, but I don't think it played like Dixit. Pretty low complexity game with 30 minutes, but it looked really good. Like, it's got these cool see-through cards. It's got the easels a la Gallerist add-on. And I don't actually know how the game plays, but it makes me... I would say this game, the way it looks, makes me want to play it. Just from an artistic perspective. So I'm glad that it's doing well. Let's actually see how the ratings are coming in with the... Actually, let's see here. So this is card drafting, hand management, layering, set collection. Yeah, it has the card layering. I remember that mechanism. And let's see how the comments are doing. Kickstarter back. Interesting puzzle. Decent graphics, enjoyable gameplay, easy to learn, and quite challenging. Interesting. Different challenge sign. I guess maybe he's playing it solo. I don't know. Beautiful, chill game. Bob Ross, Art of the Chill. I do think it is a really nice looking game from an art perspective. But I do expect, given the weight, it's probably not going to climb into the top 100. We'll see. But I think that that's kind of a long shot for this lightweight of a game. So there you have it. That is the BGG Climbers for the week ending 1/27/2021. Again, if you like this video, please like and please subscribe. Please take a look at our other videos. Thank you.